Hello everyone and welcome back. So you can see here I am cutting 72 pieces of a pale pink wire. This is going to be the leaf slash flower parts of a wisteria tree. So we start with a opposite sides double loop to start the end of the wire. Now I used a small glass dish that I had and I put a bunch of beads in it. These are some beads I got from the craft store that had kind of a iridescent look to them. I put on 10 beads for each wire. Then I do a loop at the end of the wire so that they do not fall off. Now I slide a single bead down to the double loop end, and I do another alternating double loop on the other side of the bead. I bring down another bead and I do another double loop alternated, and I just keep repeating this process until all of the wire is used and all 10 beads are placed. The last bead is just held in place by a double loop and then the single loop at the end. For the tree trunk, I'm cutting pieces of a pale blue wire. I do 91 pieces because that's all that I had on my roll. It was at this point that I had changed my mind and I didn't want to do the same leaf style as I did for the weeping willow tree. So I took inspiration from another wire artist on YouTube. I will link his video in the description below. He does amazing work and he made links and then linked them together like a chain, and I thought that just had amazing movement and looked awesome. Now to cut up all the 72 pieces, I started with the second set of double loops and I cut in between those two loops. So it left me with the beginning end of a double loop and a single loop, and then everything from there on was just two single loops with a bead in between. Now the other end with the single loop that held the beads on had one bead and a single loop at each end of that piece. That piece and the first piece I kept separate from the other pieces. As you can see here, I had two dishes. The one on the right was all the single bead pieces from the middle, and the left one had the two end pieces. So I had 8 pieces from the dish on the right and the two different type end pieces from the dish on the left, so I still had 10 beads per hanging piece. So the piece I start out with is the end piece that has the double loop, bead, single loop. I take that single loop and I spread it apart kind of like a keychain ring, and I loop it through the hole in one of the middle pieces. Once I linked all of the 8 pieces that would make up the middle together, then I finally put on the last piece, which was the single loop with the bead. And that's how I reassembled the 72 pieces to be free hanging when they were on the tree. I split the tree trunk wires into 2 parts, 19 pieces and 72 pieces, to make the tree trunk. I started with the 19, just getting them twisted together and kind of giving them a little bit of a roots to start. Then I took 6 of the other wires and I twisted those together, making 12 total pieces of tree trunk. Once I had my 12 pieces together, I would take 2 of them and twist them together, making like a pair of legs. Once I had all of the pieces together and had pairs of legs, I just linked the legs together, one to the next piece, and I put the 19 wire trunk in the middle of all of those. After getting the roots all twisted out and set so the tree would stand, I twisted out my branches so that I had 72 branches with looped ends and 19 sticking straight up through the middle. Here I started taking the 72 pink pieces and hanging them off of the loops on the ends of the branches so that they would dangle free. I decided to take the loops on the ends of the branches and loosen them up a little bit so that I could hook the dangly parts on there and then rebend the loop back into shape. I just kept working my way around the tree until I had all the dangly parts hanging. Once all the dangly bits were hanging, then I just bent the branches up to give it a nice look and was happy with it. I had some green left over from a previous tree, so that's why I had the 19 pieces sticking straight up out of the top, as they were going to be what the leaf parts would be, the foliage on the tree. With the leaf foliage done, the tree is complete. I'm doing another video of what I put it on and how I based this particular tree, so keep your eye out for that video. And if you like this video, give that like button a poke. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.